It is now that time. Welcome, everybody, to the Spellbound Survivor Charmed Final Tribal Council. The entire season has been culminating towards this event. Jason, Sam, the two of you stand in front of the jury, ready to plead your cases as to why you deserve to be the sole survivor. Here is how FTC is going to work. So, Sam, as the winner of the last immunity challenge, you will decide who will be the first to give us their opening statements. You're going to give a small or a short summary of why you should be the one winning Spellbound Survivor Charmed and a synopsis of your game, essentially. You guys will have 5 minutes to give each of your opening statements. And Sam, whoever you choose to go first will determine the order for the closing statements, which is also going to be 5 minutes. So whoever goes first for opening will be the second to close. And in between that will be the jury statements. That's when the power will go over to the jury. They will each have 7 minutes to speak their pieces, to ask any questions to either two of you, any individual of the final two, and they can concede that time, meaning they won't use all of their 7 minutes. I will still provide occasional reminders of how much time is left during the opening, closing, and jury statements. And once everything is said and done, the jurors will cast their vote and we'll announce a winner. So, Sam, like I said, as the winner of the final immunity challenge, you have the power to determine who will go first for opening statements. Who will be the first opening statement?
I'd like to go first, please.
All right, then. So, Sam, you will go first. And Sam, while you're giving your speech, Jason, unmute and go off cam. So, Sam's and I are the only ones here. Sam, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, then. The timer will start in 3, 2, 1, now.
Hi, guys. Really, really excited to be here. Just want to start off by saying, usually when I play these games, I normally establish myself as quite a threat by the time the early merge comes around. I'm normally taken out before the end game because of this. This game, I came in with the goal to make sure that there was always a threat in front of me. And I continued that trend until the final four when we took Morgan out. And then at that point, I took my fate into my own hands and won that final immunity, which secured my place here. Anyway, a quick synopsis about my game. I started off on Tico. I started working with Jay, Eric, and Tyler and started building a relationship with Glenda, even though we hadn't really spoken much. Then we swapped, and I got to meet some more people. We swapped with Eric, Jay, and Tyler, and then had some good relationships built with Roberto and Jonathan. I was very open about Jonathan and I's relationship and friendship straight away. He's one of my very good friends, but I made clear that it wouldn't mean that our games would necessarily align, and that if needed be, I would vote him out. Then we swapped again, swapped with Eric, and reunited with Glenda. We started getting on better and established more of a relationship, which was amazing. Alliance was made up of the three of us plus Roberto. Met Jason, we got on so well from the get-go. And about halfway through that swap phase, I asked him for a final two, and he graciously accepted. I found out immediately from Jason that Eric and Roberto had asked him for a final three, which then made me think, okay, these people aren't as good with me as I thought because they hadn't told me about this, which then made me realize when we got to merge, I needed to do something about it, which is what happened in the end. So then in the final vote before merge, I lost my vote. I volunteered to be the decoy vote so that we would all get to the merge without any issue. And that's what happened. Merge started with live night and Gianna was voted out. I was excited to see her because we haven't played for a good few years. But then when it was become between Jason and Gianna for the vote, the choice was obvious. Prior to the merge, Eric had come to me. I'd come to everyone and said with a plan to say that he had used his aid for that power, to say that he was at the bottom of the tribe. And I knew that this would only benefit him. And I wasn't feeling really confident about our relationship. So I decided to go directly to the person that I felt had the most influence on the other tribe, which was Morgan. I told her everything immediately, and I built a lot of trust with her. And then I brought up the idea of a 6-person alliance to her, and that we should vote Eric out this round before he got too powerful. I then spoke with Jason, and I said, this is what I think we should do. I think we should make a 6-person alliance. I think we need to get Eric out because Eric's being messy. Unfortunately, he'd agreed, which was lucky. I then spoke to Jonathan, Ali, and Kevin, and we made the 6, and then Kevin made the 6, and we ran the game for the majority of the merge. Jason and I had to play double agents for the first couple of rounds of the merge to ensure that Eric felt super safe, so he wouldn't use his safety without power. I honestly believe that if I didn't make this decision to tell Morgan about the six and form this six-person alliance, Jason or nor I would be here at this moment. But I feel that neither of us were anywhere near the top of the Tico's totem pole, and I feel that we made ourselves in a much better position by making this move and making this six. Following that, I was told in the next round, I was told that by Jason that Morgan had asked him for a final two, but she hadn't asked me one yet. So then I got on call with Morgan. I loosely floated that I felt good about Jason as well, knowing full well that she did too. And then we made a tremendous trio alliance, which would then dominate the game mostly up until the final four. I was being told that at this point that Kevin and Ali had both been saying to Morgan and to Jason that they wanted me out at six, which was my main concern. So I didn't want that to happen. So then we decided that we were going to get them before they got me. And that's why, Kevin, you were blindsided at final seven because I didn't want to be in danger. And all it needed was one person or multiple, two people to flip. And then I would have been in trouble. Um, that round, I initially made the Fantastic Four alliance. I wanted Jonathan, Morgan, and Jason us to decide that row. But Jonathan was very, very clear about not wanting to do anyone but Jay. So then that was a concern. So I needed to make sure that that didn't happen. So then we made another alliance with Jay, kept Jonathan out of the vote, which was really difficult for me, but it had to be done because Kevin could have played something and I could have gone home. And then Jay, Jason, and Morgan and I voted Kevin out. Jonathan was very upset afterwards. So then the plan was to vote Ali out, but Ali was so cool afterwards, didn't have any kind of reaction at all, just got on with the game, which I really respected. Jonathan, on the other hand, told me openly that he was going to try and get Jason out, or if not me out, which meant that unfortunately Jonathan had to go. Um, Final five, I went to Jason. I was like, we need to get Morgan out before final three because if Morgan wins this immunity, me and you won't get to the end. So then that's what we did at final four. Jason won immunity. We made Morgan believe it was Ali. We've got Morgan out. And then at the end, I won final immunity. I was really happy about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right, then. Now, Sam, you must go on mute and turn off your camera. Jason, now is your time to come back on. Um, and this is the perfect time for Sam, if you need to switch devices, to switch devices. Jason, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, then. Your timer will start in three, two, one, now.
Nah. First of all, I'm super excited to be here. Um, just want to say, first of all the moves I made, I had to do to get to this point in the game. Starting the game off, I was like, I really need to show myself off in these challenges because I'm not really familiar too much with everyone in the org community, but I also wanted to build my social game up as well. So I did that at the start, and I felt like I was good up until the second swap when Austin was being voted out, and Sam told me that was happening, and no one else told me that was happening. But also at the same time, I lost my vote, and that was also spread around. So I kept trying to have to be this person who was like, "Oh no, Austin left. What am I going to do?" But I felt like my social relationships I built up helped me carry me to the merge because everyone was telling me what to do in terms of that challenge where I had took immunity for myself in which Keaton left. And that's where things kind of took off a bit more because that went into the live night right after that. And that's when Gianna ended up making me her main target and everyone else just went after Gianna. And that's when I realized that, all these bonds I made at the start of the game, plus now all these bonds I had, I felt like I was in a really good position to do what was best for me in the game. Also, during that time, I made a final two with Sam when he did tell me that Austin was going instead of Keaton, and I just played along. And since then, I just uh, kept playing along with everything, especially starting with the Eric boat and him wanting to lie about safety without power. I went to Sam. I was like, this doesn't make any sense because if something goes wrong, then it's gonna just blow back on me and probably whoever else said this lie that he didn't have it. So that's when we got our six together. We went forward into the game and we started taking out everyone else that was with Eric, including Glenda and Roberto. And then at the final seven, that's when me, Morgan, and Sam, we had to make a move in order to further advance ourselves further in the game. And that's when we took out Kevin. And then at the final six, I know Jonathan was targeting me, and I know Allie really wanted me out of that one as well. Um, but I feel like those relationships I built really carried me further into the game, and then I won those immunities, securing my spot in the final three, and then was able to be taken by Sam to the end. Um, I feel like the entire game was just about me making these relationships, me showing people who trusted me that I had their back. Unfortunately, some of those people who did trust me, I had to go against. But I feel like most of my game accumulated on building trust with people and also relying on my challenge ability, winning those immunities, and securing my spot here. And I'm ready to answer any questions and see how the night goes. I'm done, Jacob.
All right, then. So Jason has conceded the rest of his time for the opening speeches. Both Sam, you can turn on your camera right now. Glad to see that you made the device transition seamlessly. But now we're going to move on to the jury statements. I told Ponderosa that it will be in boot order unless requested otherwise. So that means first one up is our first juror, Gianna. So Gianna,
Hi. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, it starts.
All right. Hi, lovelies. Sam, I did not get a chance to see you because I
I
ended up
know.
going first move. I'm like, no, because I really wanted to get the chance to work with you and everything. Um, but I will have a question in a minute. Jason, I wish we had talked more. I was trying to get a conversation going, and while we were on the same tribe, and it wasn't going pretty far, or was almost like one worded answers or per se. But I did not push your name at that merge vote. Jay did that. I just want okay, that's the name I'm hearing. That's what I'm gonna go ahead and go for. That's what that was. But I didn't push it personally. I wasn't trying to. Because I was trying to get a chance for us to try to work together, or what have you. So that's all I have for that comment wise. The question I have, if it can get answered by both of you, awesome. If not, whoever wants to answer it. But what was a move that you personally made, like a big move in the game, and that wasn't part of an alliance or anything, but like your personal move?
I can go. I am 1 second. Time's going off. Anyway, yeah. Sorry. Um, my big move was when as soon as we got to merge, I knew I wasn't anywhere near the top of the Tico's and Roberto's totem pole when it came to this game. I knew I needed to do something to get myself in a better position. So I went directly to Morgan, who I felt had the most influence at this merge after the live night. And I told her absolutely everything. I told her what they were planning to do, made sure that she knew absolutely everything, built a lot of trust with her. I then went to Jason, and we both had some concerns, but I said to Jason, we need to flip this round. We need to do something. Otherwise we are not going to be here for very long. Um, and then I went around and spoke to Jonathan, Kevin, Ali, made them feel secure, mentioned the six to all of them, and then from that point the six was made, which then dominated a large chunk of the merge, and I think changed the trajectory of the game.
All right.
Yeah. Um, I'll go. I feel like it's pretty much the same thing. I feel like I went to you, Sam, about the Eric thing and was like, this doesn't make any sense. But also throughout the game, the moves I made had to be pretty much feel like I was the person always going to go a lot of people to make sure no votes fell on certain people. And I feel like I did that effortlessly, especially in unfortunately the Roberto round. I made sure like no votes went on anyone. I felt like that built a lot of trust with everyone else in the game that they were looking at me like someone they can count on and rely on. And I felt like that propelled me further in the game that they can count on me and wouldn't suspect me of anything, especially going into the next round where I did unfortunately have to start turning on people.
All right. Awesome. Am I able to ask one more question or no?
Yeah, you got enough time for it. You can do whatever you.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna do a fun question this time. I always like the fun questions. So pick a favorite TV show, movie, anything you like. Pick a character that represents you, and pick one for me.
I know someone from me right now. I would be Jack Sparrow because I love my mom.
Awesome.
And who would you? Hmm. I feel like you'd be one of the cooks on Orange is the New Black. I can't think of her name, but the very strict one who's not red.
Okay.
Okay, me, I someone that talks a lot, probably Mickey Mouse or something like that. Just because I don't shut up, and I'm just I like making jokes. I like making people laugh. I like making people have fun. So someone like Mickey Mouse, I would say. And I would probably say someone like Effie White from Dreamgirls, just because you are extremely passionate. You are very, very kind, very loving, but you are very outspoken, and you are not afraid of saying what you need to say to get your point across.
All right, awesome. That's all I have. Good luck to you both. I don't know where my vote's going, but definitely good luck to you both.
See you.
Okay, so Gianna concedes the rest of the time. Currently we're trying to get in contact with Eric, who is not on the Zoom at this moment. So then next would be Glenda. I know that she's currently in attendance. Um,
Is it me?
yeah, it's you, but I know you said you're at something, so
Okay, I can talk really quick. Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, so my question is for you, Sam. I remember during the vote when I was getting voted out, you had told me that it was going that you wanted it to be Morgan, and really the vote, as far as Jay had told me, was going to be Roberto. And I wonder why, if I was going home anyways, you felt the need to lie about who the fake vote was going to be. And I just feel as though there were a certain number of unnecessary lies, but also I question, did you feel as though you could not have made it to the end with the Roberticos, so to speak? Did you feel like we were going to turn on you too early, or like we wouldn't have been able to be a sustainable alliance? And my question for you, Jason, would be, do you feel like you were carried in this game, or do you feel like you were successfully just being incognito in this game? And that's my question for you too. And I apologize for the noise. I am currently on a cruise, but I'm gonna mute myself again and I'll just listen.
Amazing. I'll ask your
You go
second
first.
question first. No, as soon as I found out that Roberto and Eric had made a final three alliance with Jason, and they hadn't told me about it, I knew that I didn't have much longevity with her. I didn't think they would take me very far, which is why I knew I had to pivot my game. Um, I'm not sure if you remember. I was that you're not. It's not an excuse, but I was completely out of with work. I was confused about what name we were giving as the fake vote or whatever. So I don't actually. That night was a massive blur to me. So if I did say the wrong name, it wasn't on purpose. I didn't. Obviously, I wasn't going to tell you it was you because there are other things to play. And you were such a huge, massive threat in this game. In every sense of the word, that there was no way I could have told you it was you because you could have changed things. But no, in terms of what the decoy or the fake vote was, I sort of lost track of everything that was going on that night because I was crazy with the work as I mentioned to you. But yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Because it just seemed to me like you were telling me anything that I wanted to hear, which is understandable, but it just seemed rather unnecessary. But your perspective definitely helps.
Thank you.
Um, that's my question. I don't think I was scared in this game. Like everything that happened at tribal councils, I knew what was going on. And also at the same time, I did win three immunities that got myself here, and that didn't rely on anyone else. Also at the same time, I do know after we did unfortunately have to vote Kevin out, I knew I was constantly being targeted, not only by Jonathan, but by Allie. So the work I put in to this game to build the trust with the people I had, that's what got me here. And that didn't rely on anyone else. I put in the work to be here, and I definitely wasn't carried throughout this game.
Okay, thank you so much. That really helps me to hear.
So I'm assuming that Glenda will concede the rest of her time.
I can see it.
Nice. All right, now we move on to our next juror while we wait for Eric if Eric does arrive. Roberto. Roberto, you ready, my guy?
Yep.
All right, 7 minutes start. 3, 2, 1, now.
All right. So, congrats, final two for Jason and Sam. You both played very similar games, but I felt like both of you have been very distinct as well for me. But no matter what you guys did, you both made it to the end. And honestly, no matter what happens, this is going to be a great final two. But I wanted to do something a little more spicy. I want both of you to close your eyes.
Oh God, okay, got this.
So I am going to call a name of a juror. Raise your hand if you think you have their vote. We'll start with Gianna. Okay. Raise your hand if you think you got Eric's. Okay. Raise your hand if you think you have Glenda's. Raise your hand if you think you have mine. Okay. Raise your hand if you think you have Kevin's. Okay. Raise your hand if you think that. Who did I miss? Oh, raise your hand if you think you have Jonathan's. Raise your hand if you think you have Jay's. Raise your hand if you think you have Morgan's. Okay. And raise your hand if you think you have Allie's. Okay. That's interesting. That is interesting. So now I am going to do something a little more interesting now. Sam, you raise your hand for. Hold on. Sam, sorry. I'm drawing a blank. Sam, you raise your hand on having Eric's, mine, Kevin, and Morgan's. Jason, you raise your hand for Gianna, Eric, me, Morgan, and Allie. So very interesting one, because neither of you raised your hand to Jonathan, Glenda's, or Jay's. Can you explain to me why you didn't raise your hand to any of the jurors?
Can we open our eyes now?
Yes, go ahead.
I didn't raise my hand for Jonathan in particular because I don't quite know where our game relationships stood. I don't know whether he respects the games or the moves that I played. I know my actions hurt him, and that was really upset me in the game. That's why I didn't raise my hand for him. Jay, I'm not sure. I know Jay was burned by being voted out by both of us and being lied to by both of us. So that's why I didn't vote for Jay. And Glenda, I'm not sure, and I'm not confident that you would vote for me, but I might be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. But that's why I didn't say you.
Yes.
So for Glenda and Jay, I just don't know where they sit in terms of how they feel after the game, towards me or not. So that's just uncertain for me, and I'm just hoping confident in everyone else's votes. Hopefully they like me. But as for Jonathan, after the Kevin round, Jonathan was not feeling a type of way towards me, I feel. Which hopefully we can talk about later, but it felt like he was just like, don't talk to me if you're not gonna vote with me. So or like don't like try and be social with me if you're not gonna vote with me. So I just didn't talk to him because I felt he felt a certain way about me, and which was clear when he targeted me the next round. So that's why I don't feel like I have his vote.
Okay. How much time left? Oh, 2 minutes. Okay. So I have one more question in regarding to Sam. So the last game that you and I came off together with Big Brother Cheesecake. Now, the thing is, you played the exact same game this time, which is basically oversell, trying to tell people, be like, oh yeah, we're going to go to the end together. And then next thing you know, you stab them right in the back. It's, to me, it puts a little sour taste in some of the jury members' mouth in both cases. So please explain to me, why do you feel you need to justify overselling your promises that you can't deliver?
I don't remember overtelling any promises when I didn't mean them in this game. I might have said to you when we met that I really wanted us to go far, but then as soon as I heard from Jason, oh, there's a final three being made that's been without me, and neither you or Eric had told me about it, made me think, because if we were really going to go to the end, I would tell you about it if I made a final three. And the fact you hadn't told me made me think, Oh, I'm not as high up in their rankings as I've been led to believe, which is why I changed and pivoted. Then before that, I was sold on you guys, and
Right.
then when that happened, that's why I don't remember ever saying to anyone else that we're going to the end. Maybe apart from Morgan, but then I had to say that. But I knew full well that Morgan had already made a final two with Jason around before that, so I knew I didn't know whether to believe that. So as soon as Morgan said, "Okay, let's go to the end," I'm not really going to say, "No, no, let's not." I'm going to say yes, of course. But I knew full well that I didn't know who Morgan would choose if we got to the end, and my end goal was to stay with my final two, which was Jason.
Okay. Now, how much time? Okay. One last question. So Jason, I felt to me that you're actually really slept on, but I just want to give you a little piece of advice. You need to sell your game more because right now we're getting nothing. And I do feel you have a lot of potential. So please showcase for the rest of the time here. If you have nothing to give, then my vote is not going to be as cut and dry for me. So I just want to say good luck to both of you. I do feel there's a lot of chance for me to get my vote for one of you two, but best of luck. Great game. I'll catch y'all later.
Roberto concedes the rest of his time, and their next juror up is Kevin. I already saw that he unmuted in preparation. Got to turn the camera on, my boy. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready whenever.
All right.
Is this where we finally make the six? Is that when this happens? No, I'm kidding. Yeah. So, in all seriousness, listen. Yes, I was very burned with that vote. You guys know I was burned. I'm not going to try to make this about me because that's not what you should do, in my opinion. Like, it shouldn't just be about you. It should be, I want to be a little bit more well-rounded than that. Kind of focus on both of your games. So I will be honest. I came in here like very solid on what I was going to do. And now certain things that have been said tonight, I've just kind of been shifted a little bit and I'm a little bit more open as to where I'm voting. So I think the question I have for the both of you is that I feel like we've heard a lot in the jury from the both of you of like intentions and how you wanted to play the game and things like that. So I think the question I have for the both of you is, how did you intend to play in this jury phase? What was your overall goal, and do you think you accomplished it? And either of you can start.
Jason, do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
Oh, you want me to start? I can start.
I thought you were asking me. I'm sorry.
I'll start. Coming into the jury phase, I was pretty much just like, okay, just make it to the end. You have to build these stepping stones to get to the end. If like, no matter what it takes, you have to get there, and one false misstep can just shatter your whole game. That's why I was so focused on making sure people just thought the vote was going this way, because if like one time you're weak or one time you do this and one time you slip up to someone like, hey, like you, but you're going home, that person's going to go say, Jason said this, Jason said that, and then suddenly Jason's the new target. It was about keeping my head down, building those stepping stones to get to the end, making that final six to get to the final seven, then having that final three along with the final four alliance that we did eventually create with Jay to get to the next part of the game, which is the final five, which unfortunately we had to turn to Jay, and then making it to the end of this game. And that's how I viewed it, as making it here, and then you can ask for sorries later. But at this point in playing the game in the merge, you have to take the risk you have to take and just get to the end, because if you don't make the moves you make, you're out of here. So that was my perception going to the merge.
My main goal going into the merge was to get myself in a better position than I thought I was in going into the merge. I felt very much on the bottom of the Roberto and the Tico alliance, and I needed to change that. I knew that the story that we were told to say going in would not bode well for me in the long term. So that's why I went to Morgan and went to all of you guys. I was like, right, so this is happening. This needs to be done. And then said to Morgan about making a six, and then thank you for making the six, Kevin. You did, and that was really, really helpful. My intention was also to not lie, was to not unnecessarily lie where, if at all possible. I had to lie to Glenda and to Eric and to those guys when we were playing double agents, because Eric has saved that power. Glenda could have had an idol. There's powers in this game. We have to lie. I had to lie to you, Kevin, because I knew you were coming after me at six. I was told I used my social connections, and they all told me everything I needed to know so I could make groups and do things at the right time. I knew you were coming after me at 6. I didn't want that to happen, which is why you needed to go before that, and we needed to make the move first before you got me. Um, I promise I gave Roberto my word I would not vote for him, and I didn't vote for him. I kept my word. I kept my word there. I only lied when I had to in this game, and that was my goal coming in. And then yeah, just use my social connections. When we got to 7, we made a 4 to make sure that we were solid, and then from there make sure that I could do whatever I could to get me and Jason to the end, and that's what I did.
All right. So I totally understand that. And I was very much after you, Sam. So I totally understand that for sure. I think the only other question I have for the both of you, just to kind of see, like, because I feel like a lot of people are seeing similarities in your games, but it's more so like, Sam, I feel like you are coming across as I did this and I did this. And Jason, it just seems a bit more cut and dry on your end in terms of your answers. So I think the question I have is, if you weren't sitting here, who would you have wanted to be sitting here?
In my place?
Yeah.
Yes. I would have to say Morgan probably dominated the game all around. Like, just as someone who I would be very honored to vote for to win.
Top between 2. Did you only need one name?
He said in my place. Just one place, right?
Well, either one of you.
Okay. So you think Morgan in your place? I'm confused. Anyway, in my place, I would probably say Morgan dominated the game, which is why we needed her to not be here, because she would have beaten any of us at the game. But I think Morgan played a well-deserved game to get to the end and to win this game.
All right. Well, with that said, my vote is still very much open. Good luck to the both of you, and let's keep praising those sticker rocks. You know, we gotta love those. I'm gonna yield the rest of my time because Allie is on her break, and I want her to have enough time. So go ahead.
Well, Kevin has conceded the rest of his time, as we have said. Allie's currently on her work break, so Allie, now is your time to speak. Please.
Hello.
Are you ready?
Yes.
3, 2.
Oh, right. All right. So first of all, congratulations to you guys. You did what the rest of us couldn't. But my question first for Sam is, I just want to know why you made that chat with me and Jay. You lied about it and said it was that we did, and when it was complete bullshit. I just wanted to know, like, what your reasoning behind that chat was, and like, why have you been making all these unnecessary lies?
I'm actually tired for a second, but the reason I made the chat with you and Jay was to make you guys feel comfortable. That was the reason why, because there were still things that, if I remember right, things that could have been played, was to make you guys feel comfortable, so that you thought that one thing was happening, so that Morgan, Jason, and I would have our votes with Morgan steal a vote to then decide what happened that round. That's why I made the chat. It wasn't unnecessary. It was to make you guys feel comfortable, because if for any reason you voted and you didn't feel comfortable, it could have gone a different way. Okay, or if you felt comfortable and you both had idols, it could have gone a different way. I needed to make you feel comfortable. Could you clarify? I don't understand what unnecessary lies I've made. Sorry. Could you please just clarify?
Just based on the jury chat, you just made a lot of like empty promises and just lied about a lot of things to everybody. So, and also, I tried to keep my information to you a minimum. Like, I adore you as a person. It's just I could never really fully trust you, just because. So that's why I kept our game talk kind of to a minimum. But I will say, if I did win that final immunity, I would have taken you, just because I know I would have had a better shot against you than Jason. So I'm a little burned by that, but I mean, I get it. It's all game. And Jason, really you've honestly played very well, like physically and socially. Like, you're a very likable person, and you were always in like a pretty good spot. I really just want you to like explain your game more to me.
Okay, so my game was to be sociable and liked, so I wasn't targeted. Even though you were coming after me hard a little bit as the captain mode. But
I
especially
tried hard.
I know, especially during the Jonathan round, that I won those immunities. But I didn't know that you were after me. Like obviously I knew about the chat Sam had with y'all and all this stuff going on. But that was my game. Because I felt like coming into this game, everyone in this game has like played all these orgs and all this stuff, most everyone. So I'm like, okay, I need to just be on top of being close with everyone as much as I possibly can. So hopefully people aren't targeting me. Except near the end game, you were coming after me, and I think it was mainly only you, but you were saying that, and that was pretty much my game. I was like, I need to make sure no one is looking at me. They need to look somewhere else. Because I was confident in my challenge abilities that if I got close to the end, I felt like I could probably win most of the immunities towards the end, which I did. Just couldn't win that last one, but luckily, you didn't win it, and I made it here. So, yeah, that's pretty much my game. It's just being social, being on top of it, trying to make everyone like me as much as possible because it was genuine, but also at the same time, it was part game because I don't want people voting for me. I want to make it to the end. And that's pretty much what I was trying to do the entire time.
All right. If only I won that immunity at Final Five. It was so close. Something could have been different. I will say though, you guys obviously did very well. And I mean, I loved working with you guys, but also I did try to split you guys up at Final Six, but obviously didn't work based on certain people trusting you guys a little too much. But I love y'all, and I think that's pretty much all I have. Just made the best person win.
Thank you.
Haley has conceded the rest of her time. So now we will continue to go back in the order that was already predetermined. Next up, we have Jonathan. Jonathan, you ready, bud?
Good to go.
3, 2, 1, starts.
All right. Hello, both of you. I'm sure you're excited to see my face again after the last talks we had. Sam, I actually thought I was going to be doing this final tribal at my parents' place, and I asked my mom if she had a question for you because I wanted to do that, and her response was, "Yeah, how's Australia, Sam?" And
I'm not Australian.
anyways, wanted to get that out of the way because I have some serious questions I want to talk about that are less funny, maybe. We'll see. But also, like, it's going to determine my vote. I've got two questions for Sam. I have one for you, Jason. I'm going to ask my Sam questions first. Sam, you said that you made your final two with Jason in pre-merge. I might also ask you this, Jason, as well at the end. But um, at what point did you decide you can beat Jason? Because you can't really know in the pre-merge. What point were you like, I have to continue this final two because I can beat him?
When I play this game, as well, I need to find the person that I can bounce everything off, ideas off to. I need someone who I can volley with and talk about ideas and say, is this good, is this bad? I need someone who I can have that with. And upon chatting with Jason, we connected instantly, and I knew straight away that I wanted to play this game with him. And as the game progressed, I feel I was playing a better game. In all honesty, I feel I was the one who orchestrated flip switching and getting the six to be made. I was the one who went to Morgan and told her everything that we were told not to say by the Roberto and Ticos. I feel I was key in that move, and then I feel I was key in was one of the key members in getting Kevin out before he got me, knowing full well that he was coming after me. I feel I was key in getting Morgan out before she got to the end because she would have beat absolutely everyone. So as the game progressed, I feel I was playing a better game than Jason, which is in turn partly why I took him, but also because of loyalty.
All right. Did you have a specific moment in time, like a specific round where you're like, I'm for sure going to the end with Jason, I'm going to beat him?
I would say from after the live night, from as soon as that first vote happened, and we successfully got Eric out, and me and him worked so well with that. And the fact that I had, as I said, pretty much started that ball rolling, orchestrated that, I feel that point I felt that I had a better shot to win. I felt that was a big move that changed the trajectory of the game, and I feel the game would have been a lot different if I'd have stuck to the Ticos. Jason would have stuck to the Ticos as well, and then the game would be completely different.
All right, next question. The round before we went, we had a very nice conversation about who we thought was threats in the game, and I came to you and told you that Morgan was one of the biggest threats and that Jason was one of the biggest threats, and you responded that you thought J1 was a bigger threat. And you came to the next tribal, and you're one of the first things you said in your question you were asked was, "I'm here to vote out a big threat," and then you voted out J1. I was just like, "Oh, Sam should have listened to me," and maybe, but I just wanted to ask first, like, do you usually trust what I say when I bring information to you, or was that like Jonathan's raw?
I do. I was fully aware that Morgan was a big threat, but I also know I needed Morgan's steal a vote. I needed Morgan's trust for a bit longer. I also had loyalty to Morgan because we had been working so closely together from the start. So it wasn't from the start of merge, but it was too early. I'd already planted the seeds for Jason and said, Jason, we need to do this. We need to get Morgan out at this point if she doesn't win immunity, which was final four. She didn't win immunity. The plan was already set in place. I knew Morgan shouldn't be there. I didn't quite believe Jason was as big a threat as you were making out, in all honesty. But I definitely believed with Morgan, and I did believe Jay was a threat because I felt if Jay got to the end, Jay would have been the sole survivor from the slaying of the Ticos, and would have got a lot of respect for that. Because if I had not been there, I would have probably voted for Jay for that sole reason. Because I think that's a massive feat.
All right, sounds good. I think I'm running short on time, so I'm going to move on to Jason. Jason, social game is a huge part of the game for me. When I go into my Survivor games, they always ask me, is it better to outwit, outplay, or outlast? And I always say it's better to oh, that doesn't even make sense. It's better to out socialize people. and, and that's something that's really important to me. I always find people I really enjoy playing with in the game. And at the end of the game, I do consider a lot, but I often lean towards voting the people who invested time in me and I invested time in them. And um, while considering other factors, but it's the social game that really has a huge influence on me. Um, I went back, every person I've crowned a winner, 75%, that was the reason why I chose a winner. Sam often approached me and he said that you had approached him saying that he needs to make more of an effort with Jonathan. I really need to make more of an effort. And as the game progressed, I felt like the effort got a little bit less. And part of that is because you knew I was coming for you at the very end, I imagine. But I just want to know from your perspective, why should I make you part of that 25%? Why should I give you that? You have a minute to answer, just so you know.
I feel like just because I did work social game, like you were trying to get me out there around. You had Allie with you. You had at least two votes. Allie wanted to do it. You wanted to do it, and I was still had made these relationships where like, no, let's just push it off. Let's just push it off, and they pushed it off just too late. And when they had their chance, I get, I get the social game, and I did play that social game, and I played that with everyone. Also, at the same time, I have to vote everyone out at the same time, so it's really hard to balance. But at the end of the day, you have to be comfortable in playing that social game, and then cutting that social game to benefit your cutting that person to benefit your game. And that's what I was comfortable doing this entire game. Because it was a joy to talk to everyone, but at the end of the day, I got to make it to the end.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We're out of time. Good luck.
Bye.
And that is Jonathan's time as he turns off his camera. Next up is J1. So if you can unmute and turn on your camera. You ready, my boy?
I'm ready.
All right, bet. 3, 2, 1. The timer starts.
Congratulations to you both. Got to the end. That's what I wanted to do, but I did it. You did. So congratulations. The first question that's been on, well, it hasn't been on my mind. Well, it's been on my mind, but I guess it's just the first question I want to ask Sam is, I'm hearing all this loyalty you had to others in this game and the reasoning for why, but why was there disloyalty with me, especially during our merge vote? I feel like up until that point, we had been working together, and I know you felt like you were at the bottom of the Ticos, but my conversations with Eric and others, you were definitely not at the bottom. So I just felt like it was unnecessarily being messy, especially because I saved you twice in the pre-merge. I know for a fact. And I just feel like you did not have my back in the game when you needed to, but I had yours when I didn't need to. So I just need to understand where that came from.
Okay. I was hearing, as I said, I heard that I've said this a few times that the final three was made without me knowing. If someone's truly loyal to me and they make a final three with someone else, they would tell me about it in my eyes. As in, if I was truly loyal to someone, I was like going to the end with someone, I would be like, okay, I've made this group, but it doesn't mean anything. It's fine, but I've made this group. The fact that neither Roberto or Erica came to tell me that made me think that okay, this is a legit thing, and I'm at least going to be fourth. Which made me feel, which is why I felt uncomfortable with that. I was being told by Eric and by the Ticos in general that you were closely back with them as soon as we merged, which is why I couldn't tell you because if Eric had caught a sniff of what had gone on, Eric would have used safe without power, and the whole plan would have gone haywire. Which is why I couldn't tell you. I did speak to you straight after and explain to you why I did what I did, why I voted that way, and why I didn't tell you. If Eric had saved that, if he had caught any kind of whiff of anything that was awry, which is why I had to keep going on and saying, "Oh, everything's fine. I'm still voting with you." Because if that didn't happen, then if that didn't happen, then Eric could have done that, and it would have changed how the game went. Um, and then yes, you did have my back pretty much. I know once, I don't know the other time. I'd love to hear about it later, but and I do appreciate that. And I feel I did have your back in certain cases of merge as well, which is why your name never came up as being a vote. Could
Well, I know that was mostly Morgan more so than you. I just say that. And Jason,
Yeah.
I wanna kind of like you played a very under the radar, quiet game. You started peaking like when you started winning like I think your second immunity, I'd say. And there was like a point at six where I felt like I could tie it up and risk going to rods, but I didn't because, like you said, I felt comfortable enough with you to do something maybe at five or no. So I just want you to like explain like how you kind of recovered from like being at the bottom in the pre-merge and to getting where you at? Because I did hear your name come up pre-merge as somebody who wasn't in a good position.
Yeah, so in the pre-merge, I'll start there. I do know that I was left out of the vote for Austin in that everyone assumed that I thought Keaton was going, but Sam did tell me that Austin was going, which I was just like, as long as it's not me, and I built those social relationships up. And then going into the merge was about keep building those. And I feel like that's differentiates the gameplay here because Kevin was after Sam when we got to the six if our line stuck together. But for me, I had options. Like I could stick with people and go this way or that way and then target Sam, or I could go this way and be with Morgan and Sam and go that way, which is the path I decided to take. But yeah, it was about just making people feel comfortable and especially talking to you. Like I know earlier in the questioning, Gianna said that you brought my name up instead of her, but I did even after that live night. I didn't hear you brought my name up, but I heard that I was told that you agreed with Gianna that I should go home. So I wasn't exactly told that, but at least I was informed and I just kept that in the back of my mind and just kept building social relationships. And I feel like that's part of the game where I learned a lot. And it was just shut my mouth and just keep building those relationships. Like when Ali was targeting me, when other people are targeting me, I'm just like, let me just zone it out, focus on me, focus on building those relationships. So that just changed the mindset of me going up to people and be like, why are you saying my name? Why are you doing this? And so that's what I feel like solidified me going forward. I think that answers your question.
That answers it. That answers it. So then my
Yeah.
last question for the both of you is at this point, because there's only going to be one more person to answer you guys questions after this. How do you guys feel at this point in your chances of winning? Like, do you think they were at the same going in as right now, or you think they're going better, worse? Where are you guys at right now?
I think, as has been said before, we both played similar games, but we both have differentiations to our games. Um, I feel it's roughly the same. I felt coming in it was going to be a close game. We spoke earlier. I felt it was going to be a close fight. I still think it's going to be fairly close, in all honesty. I think we both have merits to our games and we both have flaws. And I think it's whatever you decide. But yeah, that's my honest answer.
Yeah. I feel close to the same. Like every round, despite even though if people voted differently, we both knew who was going home that round. It that didn't change anything. Some things may be unnecessary than others, but it was in order to make people feel comfortable going forward in the game. And I felt like we were both comfortable doing the talks and the moves that we had to make to get to the end. So I pretty much feel similar in the way that starting this night went.
Well, I think I have my mind made up at this point, and congratulations to both of you.
Thank you very much, Jay. Jay1 has conceded the rest of his time, and since Eric is currently at work, he will not be attending. However, he did send a vote for the final tribal council. Last up, but certainly not least, we have Morgan. Morgan, are you ready?
Oh, I'm fucking ready.
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. The timer starts now.
Okay, so the jury has been calm, cool, and collected, and I'm fucking raging. So, all yesterday I had a very strong opinion, because if anybody has listened to me ever, is that I fucking hate bullshit and I hate unnecessary lying. There were a couple things that happened, one being getting on to that final tribal and going, oh, we don't need Allie on the call to make a decision about the immunity thing. That is so unnecessary whenever you already have me on your side. I've already made moves against my own allies who I felt close. However, when this tribal started, Sam, you said something and I'm like shaking. I'm fucking pissed because I do not make final twos with anybody. The only person I've ever made a final two in my org is Jacob Adorno in the wheel game. And I don't ask anybody for that because you don't say no to somebody who offers you a final two. That's fucking stupid. So when Jason got on a call, or no, it was a text, he does this emoji and he asked me for a final two. And you know that's fucking true. So don't, like, that really pisses me off because I never asked anybody for a final two. Sam, when you came into Merge and you gave me all that information, my loyalty was with you. You felt close with Jason, and I went into that trio. I gave up my entire game making moves against allies that I really appreciated, which shout out to Kevin, because, like, literally one of the greatest, most trusting allies I've ever had, and I cut that for me to advance with you. Now, I can say that maybe my downfall was not saying that Jason asked me for that final two because of that conversation, but I do not ask people for a final two. Like, that's just not me. So I'm like red fucking, I am like enraged because I feel like my vote out was like, you could have taken me out at 5, you could have taken me out at 3, because if y'all both know that y'all both asked me for a final two, and I would have thrown that last immunity and put my trust in whoever would have taken me at that point. Sorry, I'm like so pissed at that because I do try to keep information. Like, I feel like I was close with a lot of people on the jury. I got the validation I needed whenever I entered the jury house, but that comment alone just really set me off because that in itself, I tanked my own game by not communicating that, but I did not ask anybody for a final two. So I just want to know if there was, I guess I do have a question because I was coming in here with statements with no, not giving any fucking opportunity to speak. I'm like so mad. At what point, because I know every round, I do want to say, I did say in the jury chat that, Sam, I feel like you did cover your ass in some aspects, because even if you were targeting me, you were communicating to me, hey, I'm going to say your name here. And even though there was some validity to it, you told me what you were doing. Same with you, Jason, in that trio chat. I felt like communication was very open. I think for me, it was just a lot of unnecessary thing. And I really did come in here being like one of you unnecessarily lied a little bit more than the other. But now I'm like, I feel like there was a lie that kind of ultimately ended my game that wasn't a truth. And that's kind of where I'm at. Obviously, y'all made it to the end. Obviously, y'all both said that I if you did, you weren't there, I would be at the end. And y'all would vote for me. And I really appreciate that because I do feel very proud of the game that I played. I do feel like my social abilities and the connections I had got you both to where y'all are because I got people to make decisions. And y'all kind of utilized my abilities, which I commend both of y'all on that. But so anyways, my kind of question is when did y'all decide, like actually decide that y'all were voting me out at 4? Was that when I lost or was that the plan the whole time?
It was a plan. It was planned. I went to Jason at final six and I said, Morgan's going to completely crush his game because I'd been told that you would ask him for a final two, and I thought you would probably take him over me because you would because we had. I don't remember asking. I remember we both said we're going to the end together, but I don't remember we didn't actually physically say final two until later on. I can't remember who said what, but when Jason told me that, I was like, okay, she, that was said before Morgan and I even mentioned the end, which made me think that you would take him. So like at final six, I said to Jason, it's going to be really hard, but at 4, we need to take Morgan out if she doesn't win immunity. Because at 3, if she wins immunity, I don't know what she's going to do, and we're not going to be in together. But more, I was more worried about the fact that you would take Jason over me. So that was my big worry, which is why I said to Jason, and even at the start of Final Four, as I said to Jason took the night to think about it, and then in the end we decided to do it officially. Even that it was really, really tough. But yeah, that's when that stemmed.
Yeah, it was decided a while ago that it had to be you. You're gonna win. You're gonna crush it. You were doing amazing. Also, I do want to mention because I was waiting for you to get on before I did mention that I did go to Sam and say you offered me a final two, and I wanted to do that so he felt like if you went to him with the final two, it would look like you were trying to be set up for the end game. And I knew you couldn't get to the end. You played phenomenal, and that's why I had to do that. And
it just really grinds my gears. It's okay because I am like, so if there's anything from any of our calls is that I just like don't like those. And yes, it's the game, I understand that, but I just am like, oh, like whatever. So yeah, this is a really good game. I'm just going to spend the last 30 seconds thanking all of the jury and the final two. And yeah, this has been a really great time. And yeah, I'm still red. Good luck to you both.
All right, Morgan concedes the rest of her time, and that concludes the jury statement portion of. Yeah, so there's that. We will go into the closing statements. Sam, as the winner of the final immunity challenge, you decide that you would go first for opening speeches, but therefore now it's the inverse for the closing speeches. That means Jason, you go first for closing statements. Are you ready?
I believe so.
All right then. Well, the timer starts in 3, 2, 1, now.
Okay, so for this game, I feel like I hope I reiterate everything I tried to do this game and not even try to attempt it because I got here. I did play that social game and tried to be close as I could. And I feel like that's what propelled me to this point. Yes, I did tell lies, such as telling Sam that Morgan offered me a final two when it was actually in reality me who offered Morgan a final two, which at the end of the day, I feel also helped me get to this point. I feel like I had a little bit of a tougher road to fight because I was being, especially near the end of the game, people were realizing and catching on to what I was doing, like Jonathan and Allie. And even I heard that Jay was saying that me and Sam were a close duo. And at the end of the day, everything still worked out that we got to this point. I won 3 immunities. I made I made moves subtly where I just had to go talk with people, make people trust me, and have them vote the correct way. Everything that happened in this game, I knew what was going on at Tribal Council. I wasn't blindsided by anything, and I just kept going in the game, and that's all I can really do. It got me to this point, and I feel like I did everything I could to get to this point without costing my game, because if I did anything different, I feel like just based on how this game was going, loose lips sink ships. And if I would have said one thing wrong, I would have been gone a long time ago. So best of luck, Sam, and see what happens. That's it. I concede my time.
All right, Jason concedes his time. Now it's Jason's turn to mute and turn off the camera. Sam, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, then your 5 minutes starts in 3, 2, 1, now.
I should be a lot calmer this time. Thank you so much for all the questions. If I did unnecessarily lie, I do apologize because that was not my intention coming into it. I just want to address something that Morgan said. Yes, when we got on call and I made that quip about, oh, it doesn't matter about Ali being here. That was more because I was so nervous. I was thinking I didn't know what was going to happen. I trust you, but I thought if you were smart, maybe you would twig something, or maybe you were told something, and that you would have tied it. And I didn't want to go to fire making with you, so I tried my hardest, Morgan, to just, as I say, make you feel super comfortable the whole way through. Um, but no, I'm really, really proud of the game I played. I won 1.5 immunities. I received 3 votes the entire game. I didn't need to win immunities at all throughout the entire game to make it to the end. Jason's name was out there a lot more than mine was. I said I won that final immunity, and I meant that I secured my place here. As Ali said, she would have taken me anyway. I am really, really proud of the game. I feel that I made that big move right at the start of merge, which got Eric out, changed the trajectory of the game, established this six that we made really good relationships with Morgan, built a lot of trust there, and which carried me and propelled me throughout the game. Because of that, I found out that Kevin was coming after me, which meant that we could act before Kevin had a chance to act towards me, and then I came through with a plan to get Morgan out before she got to the end, because I know I did well in that immunity, but I don't know how well you have done, Morgan, because your memory's as good as mine. And I feel you would have given me a real run for my money, and I thought you were taking Jason, which is why I wanted you to be out at 4. Didn't take you out at 5, didn't take you out at 6 because it was too early and I needed you still. I made some amazing relationships in this game. This game's absolute such a stellar cast, and I'm really, really proud of the game that I played. And I really hope that you guys see that too. And good luck, Jason. You've played amazing as well, and let the best person win. Thank you so much.
Well, all right, then Sam concedes the rest of his time. And with that being said, now is the time for all the jurors to send in their votes for a winner. We're going to be sending the Zoom link over to the pre-juror so they could trickle on in and we could do all the reunion and post-game stuff. Everyone, please send in your vote. Cast your votes if you haven't casted your votes yet. Change your votes if you want to change them. Best of luck to the final 2.
Thank you so much. Good job, Jason.
Yeah. Sorry for my camera. I was trying to get water while holding my laptop.
He's had to get on my time. No. Either way.
Oh man.
Sorry I wasn't here, guys, but congratulations to you both. You guys played good games.
Hi, Eric.
What's up, guys?
Definitely have to chat afterwards.
For sure.
Tyler's here. In other news, my toilet decided to explode today. That was fun. My toilet decided to explode today. It started leaking everywhere. So now we have the plumber coming out tomorrow. That's a fun night for me.
At least it's early there right now.
It's 1 a.m. Yes, yeah, it's not a pretty sight. Luckily, I'm going away with work for the next week, so I left my housemate to deal with it. I'm a good friend.
Raining outside sucks.
You drinking tonight, Jason?
We'll see what happens.
Oh,
Nah.
I'm drinking pop today. I'm being good. I've got an early train-ish.
Got work tomorrow, so last week for Christmas break, so I'm gonna go and clean up.
Yeah, half my kids have finished already. I'm so jealous.
Need to wrap Christmas gifts. I'll do that the 24th.
Oh, me and my housemate did our mini Christmas today. So yeah, that was fun. That was fun. It's just torture.
Are we allowed to all just talk? Or
Yes.
well, I don't know. Okay. Well, how do you guys feel? Do you guys feel like you played a good game? I missed everything, so
Yeah. I feel both of us played well. Yeah.
Doing okay.
Yeah. How have you been, Eric?
pretty good. Not too bad. I got a new job.
Oh, nice. Oh, you got it.
Yeah, I got the dispensary job and it's been super chill.
Good job. Yeah, I know you said you were going for it. The interview went well, but then you got voted off, so I didn't hear the rest.
Yep. So it's probably a good thing that I wasn't in this game anymore.
Okay, well, congrats. Taken an acid recently?
What'd you say?
Had any more acid recently?
No, not yet. Maybe for New Year's.
Well, you're still a dog, so according to the
still got that dog in me.
Oh, that was the best.
3-month recovery period.
Well, it is now indeed that time. Everybody that's on the cast, you could turn on your cameras if you'd like, but you have to be on mute for this. I have all the votes. But before I read all the votes, I just want to give a quick thank you and just expression of gratitude to everybody here, all the way from Joe to our final two right here. We could not have made this experience possible without you. So thank you guys very much. All about a year ago, I could not have expected to have made it past a second season, let alone a third successfully produced season of Survivor. So that's really fun. And I know that me, Brian, Cam, Tawny don't play games all of that often on this side of things, but the fact that we've gotten 50 different individuals to submit an application so they could play Spellbound Survivor, it is humbling, and I am eternally grateful for all of you that decided to take times out of your lives to play Spellbound Survivor. Now, as far as the formalities go, Jason, Sam, you two have done what 16 other castaways were unable to do in making it to Final Tribal Council. Both of you, and the theme, I guess, of this Final Tribal, is that you played similar games, maybe similar trajectories, if you will, but there are some differences in each of your games. Jason, starting on the IC tribe, after 2 swaps, not a single member of that OG tribe being voted off, you were starting to emerge somewhat as a threat, as there was a pool of green buffs that could not have been gotten rid of. But coming into the merge, you see yourself in a tricky situation between the Tico faction and what ends up becoming the majority alliance. You make the flip, winning multiple immunities along the way, building subtle, under the radar social bonds so that your name is not sit out there, as you were one of the last people to have ever had your name written down in this game. Jason, are you the winner of Spellbound Survivor Charmed? Sam, facing an uphill battle even as early as the first tribal council you attended, you were narrowly going home, but due to the relationships that you cultivated, you were able to claw your way out of your OG Tico situation and put yourself in a better position. Similarly to Jason, come the merge, you are in that middle position between the Tico faction and what ends up becoming the Sinister Six. You align with the Sinister Six, and gradually over time, you seeing and understanding your position, flipped and lied where it felt most beneficiary to you, to yourself. And by hook or by crook, what could have potentially been the second boo of the season, you make it all the way to the final two, winning one of the first and winning the last immunity challenge. Sam, are you the winner of Spellbound Survivor Charmed? I have the votes. You want to see your name written down here. And for the final time this season, let me read the votes.
Good luck, Jason.
Good luck.
First vote. Sam. It's one vote, Sam. Jason. That's one vote, Sam. One vote, Jason. Jason. That's two votes, Jason. One vote, Sam. Sam, we're at a tie. Two votes, Jason. Two votes, Sam. Sam. That's three votes, Sam. Two votes, Jason. Jason, we're at a tie again. Three votes, Sam. Three votes, Jason.
Told you.
I know.
Sam, four votes, Sam. Three votes, Jason. Two votes left. The winner of Spellbound Survivor Charmed, Sam. Congratulations, that's five, and tonight that is enough. You are the third winner of Spellbound Survivor Charmed. If you have any final words, Sam, now is your chance to say them.
Well, I didn't expect this at all. Jason, you've been an incredible ally the entire way through, and I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, everyone, especially the ones that voted for me. I really appreciate it. I'm lost for words. I'm never lost for words. Thank you so much.
I will say that this was a nail biter all the way up until the very last second. Jason, you've played one incredible game, and you should keep your head held up incredibly high. You did me and our season of Power Grab proud. I was very happy to see you in the casting pool. I expected a no when I asked you to play, and when you gave me a yes, I could not have been more grateful. So thank you so much, Jason, for taking your time here. You played an incredible game. Please don't make this outcome change that perception. Thank you very much. But now that we have concluded the season, we have our winner here. We have a couple more things that we need to give out tonight. Awards and whatnot and all that jazz. Are there any of the Prime members that want to specifically say certain awards? Speak up. First off is Rob Pre-Juror. Which pre-juror did not make it quite far enough to make a seismic impact on the game, but had a lot of potential if they made it there? Does anyone on Pro want to take that award?
Let Morgan say
it. Okay, well, apparently not. So I think, it's fun. There was a couple of contenders here. Kind of there's like this streak of damn if they made it further, damn if they made it further, damn if they made it further. Specifically the fourth, fifth, and sixth boots of the pre-jury were huge contenders, but who we ended up giving it to, well, I guess Morgan can't say it, but congratulations, Tyler. You were voted off as the most robbed pre-juror. You'll see oh, we have this Edgic, right? That I primarily was the one working on and comparing notes with Prod, who we thought were huge contenders, who we thought were going to go far in the game. After week 1, I'm like, damn, Tyler's got this, man. Tyler's killing it, building those social bonds, just being just a light, just a great presence to be around. You're very fun, you're very entertaining. And that swap tribe, I didn't even think you were going to go home in that scenario. I don't even think it was supposed to be you that was going home during that round, but just they recognized you for the threat that you were. And unfortunately, you were sniped right before the merge. If you made it there, who knows how this game would have played out. I think maybe we may have had a different final too if you were there, wreaking some havoc. So Tyler, you have any words?
Oh man. Even though Morgan, you orchestrated an incredible blindside. You can go back when you get into the VL and watch how much I had your fucking back after that, because holy shit, you blindsided the fuck out of me. Jonathan, incredible liar. I love it. Good for you. Kevin and Allie, unfortunately, we didn't really get a good chance to work together. And you guys made the move you had to make. Kevin, I wasn't gunning for you. I was 100% gunning for Allie, though. And Allie just got the word of it, and Morgan made the right choice, because Morgan, I was taking you out once we hit the fucking merge. So congratulations on an incredible move. To my original Ticos, love ya. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it any further. And to anyone I said final 3-2, I was lying. So congratulations, we did great.
It's so no final 4 with Eric. Okay, got it.
And Sam, by the way, I do want to say, I think they probably told you I tried to take you out about 3 times. And I don't know if anyone told you that yet, but to Allie, who said the cult of Tyler, these people didn't listen to me. There's no way I had a cult. So listen, Sam would have been dead night 1. It's so true, Sam. I loved you, but I knew you were.
No, I had a feeling that you were not being 100% with me, but no, it was all good. It's so good to meet you in this game.
And congratulations! What an incredible game.
Thank you so much.
Well, with that being said, we transition from most robbed pre-juror to the most robbed juror. I just got a message from Cam. Okay, bet. So most robbed juror is just somebody who may have been sniped at an inopportune moment in the game. We thought had a lot of potential, had things had kept up, had momentum been maintained. This person was going to go much further than they did. We don't like giving it to end gamers because I feel like they're more of the fit to other awards than the most robbed juror per se. I was kind of shocked going into the day because I wasn't expecting this individual to be going home, given their positioning, and had the 6 made it to 6. I thought Kevin was set up. I thought we were very high on Kevin's like strategic game and his positioning within the Sinister 6, because there was the core, or at least what the initial core was, the foundation of the group, which was the alliance that voted off Tyler, the reality pack. And I felt like Kevin was perfectly in a position within that 4. Unfortunately, it was, I guess the weakness was that Jason Sam side of things, and them kind of, whether unbeknownst to Kevin, kind of like battling for Morgan's loyalty, with both of them saying we need to fight for Morgan's vote specifically. But had it not gone to that flip at Final 7, I feel like that was the perfect move for them at that time to position the end game the way that they did. But had it just went to a Sinister 6 Final 6, Kevin at least, rock draw at 6? I don't think Kevin's in danger at that position. I don't see Morgan voting for him. Maybe Allie goes there. And who knows what goes on from that point onwards. But yeah, no, Kevin, I was shocked going into that day. I was just expecting, oh, Jay's probably going to go, whatever. And then it was you instead. Based off a wheel. I don't know. I don't think I mentioned that part yet, but it was like half of them were like, I want Allie to go. The other half said, I want Kevin to go. And then a wheel spin.
Not half. One person didn't
Well,
want
Jay was
Kevin to go.
content with Allie going. It was the other two. I was like, we need Kevin to go.
I was with you with Allie going, but yeah.
I was very happy with Kevin going after hearing
I was happy when it landed on Kevin, low-key, not gonna lie.
Listen, you and me both, Jacob. I've literally never been that shocked leaving a game before. It was just Everyone was saying 6 is getting to the end, 6 is getting to the end, and now here we are. But it worked out for Sam because you won the game. So, point taken. But Morgan, what the fuck? No, I'm kidding. I love you.
Can we call this episode Morgan What the Fuck? Because same.
I already had predetermined what the episode quotes would be, but we'll unfortunately a juror wasn't getting the episode quote tonight. But that we're gonna get to a less flattering award. Worst move. And there's an asterisk on this move because I want to make this abundantly clear. I don't know what this person could have done. I don't think it's a worst move in the sense that, like, I traditionally give worst move out to where, like, they do this, they go far. If they do this, they lose. And then they did the latter half of the thing. And this is more like just like a tragedy, if you will, because this move, or at least this decision, this lie, a couple people committed to this lie, and unfortunately, it sealed their fate. There was a challenge called Greed in which only 2 people publicly won awards. Morgan, who made it all the way to the expiration date, and Eric, who decided to manufacture this lie of how he already used the safety without power during the Keaton bout, and that's how Keaton got sent home, which, all things considered, I see this like the JT letter, where, like, if it works, beautiful, masterful, excellent, could be in contention for best move. But that's kind of like the move by design. Like, if it works out, this is incredible. His side wins out, and the game clearly plays out in a different way than it does. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. And this was pretty much the catalyst. Not necessarily. I think Jason and Sam were still flipping without this, but they kind of used this to make that flip seamlessly. Like, they kind of used, Eric was playing messy. Eric was lying about this. And this, unfortunately, came at Glenda's and Roberto's and to a lesser extent Jay's expense as well. So I don't think it's worst move as much like a blunder, like a fluke, like a. I think Eric was always going to be targeted come merge, but that kind of like sealed his fate. Oh yeah, no, Eric is going home tonight. So yeah, just wanted to put the asterisks there because you were in a very tricky spot. You were in a very precarious situation, and I don't blame you at all for that. But unfortunately, not everyone committed to the lie, and that was your undoing. So if you have anything to say about that, I know you're at work. I know he's at work, so like I don't. If he wants to speak on it later, Eric, you want to speak on
I'm
it?
here. Sorry, I was leaving, so the Wi-Fi was cutting out. So I'm on my phone now. But yeah, I mean, like, in hindsight, it was stupid. But like, if that worked out, man, I was set up. I have to give it to Jason. I wasn't there for like any of what happened tonight, what you guys talked about, but I do have to give it to Jason because, man, like, I thought I had you for sure, like 100%. But Sam, I definitely was like, I was telling people, like Roberto, I was like, if anyone's flipping, it's fucking Sam.
Oh no, I heard Jason told me.
Yeah. Oh, I told Jason that? Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, great.
Dude,
well, yeah.
why are you throwing me in there?
But yeah, anyways, I had fun with you guys. You guys were awesome people. Not bitter. Like, obviously, when I was out, I was like, oh, those fuckers. When I found out when Glenda came in confirmed, I was like, I know it had to be Sam, but who else could it be? Like, Roberto wouldn't do me like that. I'm like, I'm not even thinking about Jason. So yeah, it's good blindside, man. You guys did a good job.
I know Brian on this, but so Brian, you wanted to say something? You're muted, by the way, if you're speaking. Oh, but
yes, not to harp on it too much, but I know us as Pride are playing Monday morning quarterback with this move, but just the fact I thought that you having to trust everybody from that tribe that with that lie, even if they were to corroborate it when go with the lie, the people you're telling the lie to are gonna like maybe suss it out or are gonna try to suss it out. So that's also why it gets this award or lack of award, if you will, or this award. That's what I wanted to say.
The dis award. But now we have to go to the flip side of things. What was the best move of the game? And the way that we like kind of like merit the best move was that I kind of try to find an individual or two that can pinpoint this move. It kind of set the tone for how the rest of the game was going to be played. But so much of the merge was kind of stagnant and unmoving that like I can't like specify like one point. Like, yeah, Glenda was this huge threat, but so many people were part of that move that I'm kind of like, yeah. So the best move, go Tyler going 2 for 2, taking out Tyler. I felt like set the tone in a way because like I just feel like I was so high on Tyler. I was had a lot of hopes for that side of things because up until that round, I felt like that Robert Tico side of things were the ones that were going to win out in the war. Even before getting the safety without power, I felt like if Gianna was the one that voted off, Tyler and Jay link up with that side of things, and I think it's either a closer fight leaning in the favor of the Robert Ticos. I primarily want to give a lot of credit to well, because at first Allie didn't want to do it and was so insistent that Tyler was in her corner when Tyler wrote her name down. So Morgan and Kevin and Jonathan as well, but primarily Morgan and Kevin know I give credit to because both went like double, triple teaming on Allie. Like, no, we need to vote Tyler off. He's not with you. He's voting you off. Okay, Morgan's raising her hand. Clearly, she wants to say something about that.
The way that me and Kevin had to navigate that round without letting Allie know that her name was not said at all was the hardest thing for us to do. And that's all I want to say because
we literally had like an hour and a half call trying to convince her to flip, and it worked. And we were like, oh, okay, we can do this.
Me and Kevin had like a 40-minute call on how to give this information to Allie without letting Allie know that her name was out. And then we had an hour call with Allie, and she's like, I just love our calls. And I'm like, no, you don't, Allie. You don't love your calls.
Yeah.
To think I went in my car for that scavenger hunt for all of you to turn on me the next day. Wild.
Listen, we saw your positioning. We did.
Whatever, Kevin.
Tyler really said, hey, I have all of mine and Eric's idol hunt moves, but I won't give you Eric's, okay?
I'm not giving you shit.
Tyler really gets on call with me and is like, so how do you feel about Glenda? I'm like, you working with Glenda?
Speaking of, where were the idols?
Yeah, right. What the hell?
Yeah, like, they were there. No one found them. But Brian, I know he said
no one found shit.
To answer Sam's question, Sam, you were right next to the idol, and then you stopped. You were literally right next to it. But
what?
Yes, but you won anyway. So, but to speak on the best move, Prada and we haven't discussed this, but I thought of this right now. Going into Final Tribal, Jason was the front runner, at least from what the jury chat was saying. But Sam's speech was so good. When it's not necessarily a move, but I gotta give that honorable mention, in my opinion, Sam's speech that I think won in the game. So that's what I would like to say about that.
Thank you.
I'm terrible at public speaking. Shut up, Stoner.
Well, okay. Now that we've got that out of the way, we move on to the best alliance. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Do I wonder what alliance this could possibly be?
Pico.
My God, it's almost like we keep mentioning members of this alliance when we're talking about things. My God. It's almost like I said during Sam's little blurb, I mentioned this alliance by name. So yeah, the Sinister Six. Yeah, they linked up. And may I say they compared everything. Like I'd be damned if like they would get on a call with somebody outside of the minority. I felt so bad. Like they just could not let these guys play. If they lied, if they did anything, if they just said nothing, like everything was compared in that alliance. And as fortunate it was for the minority, obviously it was effective for the Sinister Six. I do want to say that right before this, as an honorable mention, if you will, the Tremendous Trio, which was Sam, Jason, Morgan. I was a big proponent of that. I'm like, well, hey, I mean, they made the end game, so that is an honorable mention. But the Sinister Six were the driving forces of a majority of the jury in the merge portion.
Roberto, literally in Sinister Six, he'd be like, Roberto just got on a call with me and he breathed.
No, literally the Roberta round. I don't think there was a time where we were not on call. Like literally the whole round we were on call. Like I was looking at it the other day.
When we were on a call and Roberto was planning his calls, and it's like, oh, it's my time to get on call with Roberto. They would go back
and we kept
to
ending
Roberto.
the call, and then it started again because someone else got on call Roberto. It was great. I love that so
Sam
much.
would leave, come back, and then Jason's like, all right, it's my turn. Jason would leave.
And we just feed back, wouldn't we?
And the hilarious
this is
thing
what
is
happened,
that I knew that was going on. I just had to give all y'all the same speech.
Roberto, you didn't. No, Kevin is like, Roberto, you literally said to Kevin, you were like, I know you're going to go back to this chat. And it's
You
like,
did.
you say the same story, Roberto.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
No, it was like right on cue too. Like we were just waiting for you to say
There was
the
one.
same.
There was one time I was traveling for work for like an hour and a half, and yeah, there was a call that lasted the entire length of that time. I was like, and you just kept dipping in and out of like my tentacle, my tentacle, my turn now, my turn.
It was so
No,
good.
like I knew you guys didn't give a shit. I just had to try something, but it was fun.
Oh, we did care.
We did.
We did.
I'm sorry, Roberto.
So, moving along, we have the best duo, and do I really need to say anything? It's Sam and Jason, aka I can't believe I saw them name this alliance the Men with Dicks, and I was hoping by something I won't have to give this award to them. Because for the longest time, like when Morgan voted off Kevin, that was the other honorable like duo we were looking at for a good chunk of the game. So like when Morgan did that, I was like, also who is it gonna be? Because we didn't know who the final two was gonna be, and then we just saw the way the 6th round played out. I was like, Sam and Jason are actually making it to final two. Like the prod was very shocked at that because we weren't expecting that connection to be so much of the driving force. And really looking back at it retroactively, y'all were the ones to make the flip on Eric happen. Like without your 2 votes, then Eric, I don't know who y'all vote for. I don't think Morgan was ideal for you guys to go at 10 either, but y'all make that move together and we're able to navigate the duration of the jury together. And it made me look at the whole season before this differently. Because I saw maybe one of you guys getting to the end, but I thought people were starting to clock that duo. But just as I saw people suspecting you guys to be close, they immediately were reeled back in. Like you guys did an excellent job at keeping all your ends tied up with other people. And it paid out at the end of the day. And I'm really proud. So, Men with Dicks. Yeah, and I do want to say this is the first best duo I've given. I think that was the final two. I'm trying to think. Like, I know for Spellbound for sure, but I'm not sure for Hypnotic. But best duo of the season being the final two. I mean, it can't get better than that. Y'all made it all the way to the end, and y'all outplaced all the 16 other people. So if y'all want to say something about the award, then by all means.
I don't know where Member Dicks came from. We were on call with Morgan, and someone said Member Dicks, and then I was like, oh, I like this. Let's put this in our chat. And then we were born.
That was just a long story call. Anyway.
Oh, but no, yes.
Well, y'all did it. You know, I can't take that away from y'all. But yes, I just want to reiterate, Morgan, Kevin, that was a very honorable mention for a good chunk of the game. I thought that was going to be the duo of the season, but Jason and Sam murked them. So, and they didn't have a name. I don't think y'all had a name. I don't remember the name. If y'all did,
looks at the influencers.
Yeah. My bad. Men with Dicks traumatized me to the point where
as like we put.
That's true. I had it in like what do you call it?
I'm sorry, Jason and Sam's name traumatized me, so I had to remember it. It was engraved. I lost sleep over that name, but
you didn't even mention the eggplant emoji.
I didn't want to add that part. I just said the name. That's all I needed to say. I don't say the flag of a country.
For the honorable mention, I just want to say when me and Kevin started working together, I went to my prod chat and I was like, because me and Kevin have played once and we didn't work together. And I was just like, it's the way Kevin's like really impressing me. And then the squad would be like, what do you mean? And I'm like, the way that I gave you information about Allie and you literally were like so like wanting to like go about it in a way that didn't tank our game was just so impressive. So one of the best allies I've had.
Oh,
Until
same to you. All around. It was amazing.
Until I sniped you, which is kind of ironic.
Yeah, what about that?
For critical.
I gotta say, Frog and Toad.
Why
never
Morgan
got a
didn't
chance.
win right there. No, I'm kidding.
Frog and Toad would have run the game if I made that merge.
Oh yeah, Glenda
Let's go,
Tyler.
Glenda.
That was my favorite duo of names. Was just
Oh, Frog and Toad would have dominated. You don't even understand. We would have owned it. You guys don't understand.
we named the alliance. We switched, and I died. It was like, oh shit. All right, well.
Oh my
Frog and
god.
Toad. The second y'all got
It was
separated.
painful. I went through like a full grieving process when Tyler got voted out. It was very serious.
Tyler, let me just say that after your vote out, literally our Robert Tigo chat got on call and then we all had a moment of silence for you. It was
Yo,
and Sam's just like
we're not even giving an award to Tyler, and it still somehow ends up becoming about Tyler, which I think is really funny. But you know, on that note, let's move on to the hero of the season. Who, if we had to make this a show, who are the viewers gonna be rooting for? Like who are the little boys and girls pointing at saying, I want to be like them when they grow up, you know? Just this person was just such a light. And it was very fun, specifically for me to host this individual. This is their first game, after all, mind you. And it took me so long to think. I didn't think about getting her on this cast, but thank God that I did. And I remembered, oh yeah, Glenda like Survivor. Glenda, everyone adored you on this cast. Like even like when they were voting you off, people were really sad. Like, no, I don't want to vote off Glenda. And like Morgan voting Roberto, I felt like was just like safety reasons, but Morgan was really like, I just do not want to vote off Glenn. No. Don't act shocked with me. You didn't want to vote Glenda. You got your wish, but you knew Glenda was going. Anyways, Glenda, you were such a delight to host. Like I tried to spread out all the episode quotes around so that different people had chances to be quote. You were an episode quote machine. You were very funny and entertaining to watch as well. You were just constantly fighting, and even at the end of it all, I think the thing that really locks it in for me was like how you went about talking to like people like Kevin early on. Like you kind of like had that underlying understanding, like we may not be on the same page on a game level, but I still like you on a personal level. So let's just talk about life. Let's just talk about our love for like cinema and theaters and stuff like that. And that's a type of authenticity and rawness that's very rare in these types of games. And might I say, just thank you so much for playing. I know I just threw this at you last second, like maybe like a couple days before the game started, and for you to come in and blossom in the way that you did, I'm glad that you played. And I really hope they consider playing at least a couple more games after this one because we need to spread the love. We need to spread this positivity, and you will be the vessel to which to do that.
Oh my God. Guys, first of all, I'm going to cry and you're all going to be responsible because I love each and every one of you on such a deep level, including the prod team. Their patience with me and the amount of fun that I had during this season, incomparable. And I genuinely love talking to everybody. And it's the same thing with like Jonathan. I also knew that like our games couldn't possibly align. But when I tell you that I had so much fun just talking to you guys, it really doesn't matter if we're on the same like side of the game because I see each and every one of you as people and I enjoyed the hell out of this season. And thank you so much for like voting me hero of this season. Like I love each and every one of you. I'm not even playing. Like it's not even a coincidence that I went on vacation to Orlando to see Morgan. Like not a coincidence. I'm kidding. But I really did. Truly, I love each and every one of you on a very serious level. And I'm not asking, I'm telling all of you that we need to continue being friends after this. And I absolutely intend to play again because I just love the friends that I made from the Frog and Toad Alliance to the Roberticos. See, even when I was put on IEC 2.0, those relationships and connections that I made were entirely genuine. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for playing with me this season. I had too much fun.
No, I'm glad that you did because I fun fact, I've actually known Glenda for longer than I've even known Seb. Like we went to the same middle school together and we had met all the way back then. And I was like, damn, it would be very selfish of me to like just keep Glenda all to myself, right? Like I need to spread, I need other people I need to raise the awareness, right, to Glenda, and therefore Glenda, the awareness is now there, has been spread, it is now public, and hopefully other people will get to be blessed by your presence. We move on to well, you think the opposite would be villain, but we gotta wait a little bit more for that because this is a new award that we had because this is someone we had in contention for hero of the season, but felt like they were more befit to be the underdog of the season. Who do I feel like fought the most obstacles? Who do you think fought the most adversity in the game? And this person, I think, was dealt a very raw hand coming into the merge, but they they worked it out somehow, some way. It wasn't just a massacre of the Sinister Six because at the end there was only one surviving member of the minority, and J1, I am so proud of you, man. I kind of I have okay. Let me collect myself here. Um, Preseason, I always have like just I make my winner pick. I said going into the season, just looking at the cast, knowing how they play the game, who do I think is going to win this game? I picked you as my personal winner pick coming into the game. You start off very strong, OG Tico, but then slowly but surely you had allies and other people that you were like, I think this is stupid. I think this is dumb for them to go, but they would end up going. And as Eric got voted off, Glenda got voted off, Roberto got voted off. You were kind of playing self-preservation mode. And I kind of want to highlight your relationship with Morgan, which I felt was very underrated because like I thought that was like the pathway into the position to where you were in at 7 and 6 to where it wasn't just going to be the six at the six. You were going to be the weapon, if you will, used against, Kevin and Jonathan at that point. And even as close to the end as final five, I'm looking at your jury prospects as well. And said, in spite of this, because so many of the jury felt burned by some of the members of the Sinister Six, you were looking to be like this underdog contender as somebody whose game may not have been the cleanest, obviously not always getting your way, but someone who, despite the odds, made it to the end in building these personal bonds. You're just a very charismatic and charming person to talk to that I never felt like someone got themselves out of position sheerly just because people like them. Like that's something to be testament, which is why you were such a good contender for hero. But the Prod and I were like, eh. I feel like Jay was more like an underdog, whilst Glenda was the hero of the season. So I felt like this was a good compromise. We made a new award in your likeness, Jay. So if you have anything to say, by all means, so accept this award.
I was like, oh shit, I might get hero, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't get nothing this game, and then I did. You started explaining the next one. I was like, oh, this is more fitting for me. This is more fitting for me. So thank you for that award. And it is funny because I was like, me and Morgan, even during the Tyler round, we were like saying like, oh shit, we're gonna link up, we're gonna like run this shit. And after the Tyler vote, I was like, damn, we're not gonna link up and do shit. And like we were like bullshitting each other the whole time until like all the way up into the Kevin vote, and we were like, if we can't get on the same page right now, then one of us is just gonna have to go because it's just not gonna end up working. And we got on the same page for that, and I always like appreciate her for that. And I was like, after the Eric vote, I kind of wish I said this in the jury chat as well. I was like, kind of wish I put my foot down more during the live round. It was just so much going around, but I wish I would have pushed for Jason because I think we could have got him out. Hindsight is 2020. Could have got both you and Sam out pre-merge, and now look. So yeah. But thank you for that award. I'm gagging.
As you should be gagging, J1. Seeing you play like from all sides, like from the top and from the bottom, was very interesting. It was like this dichotomy of like this strong opener and not really too much to the fault of your own, it waning to you playing from the bottom, seeing you play well from both positionings is very that's very hard to do. I've seen people be able to do one good and not the other one, but I felt like you're very strong in both. So congratulations on that award. Now is the time for the villain of the season. Who was the one at the head plotting and the scheming, the backstabbing and the betraying? It's very interesting because last season when we gave it to Topher, and coming into this season, we're like, oh, it would be so funny if we just gave it to Corey, right? You know, just it stays within the family, stays within the Rams. Um, but now we're 2 for 2 on villains. I didn't expect to emerge as villains. I think this person kind of suspects maybe I could get this award, but I'm not entirely sure. But then there's people who send like VLDRs of like people's facial reactions to vote offs and stuff like that. And I'm like, Morgan has to know she's a villain, right? I just feel like Morgan, there were so many points in the game where people were constantly trying to take you out. And I think villain's like a both a testament to how much power and influence someone has, while also simultaneously being an adversary for multiple other people. There were so many people like, God damn it, Morgan, what the I mean, obviously the episode quote being Morgan, what the fuck? Like Morgan was in such a strong position for so long.
She was really
Like
good.
and the jury
They
was
had
in
to
like
get her out.
a position where they're like, can we just pre-vote Morgan now? Like, what the fuck? What are people doing at this point? What are we
I was
doing?
one of those people. I'm just like, can y'all just like take me to my DR and just let me vote Morgan, please?
Like,
Like,
just
I can't.
you were in a position where like you obviously were killing it strategically. You make this flip, and I know you did not want to vote off Kevin. You would rather had Ali go in that position. But this is such a different Morgan than from the Morgan I saw play in other games because we did not do a cast assessment for the season. Sad. But I had like my own notes for each person. And I remember us talking in Wheel and was like something about like there's people who I don't really talk to because we're not on the same page, and I don't like being fake with people. I never see it as being fake. I see it as just making your rounds. You gotta socialize with people. There's all these people you gotta talk to. You gotta go in that day. And I think Morgan honed that one thing. I was like, if Morgan works on that, she's going to kill this game, to which she did. You know, she kept all of her ends tied up. There was never not a moment where I felt like Morgan was slacking off, at least on the social aspect. But she had this way of just talking to somebody, making them feel good, even if people wanting to protect her, despite the fact that there was this common thought of her being this big threat to win if she gets to the end, while also simultaneously voting the person and talking about this person, like in the Sinister Six chat. I felt like she was like the one guiltiest of immediately getting off a call, and I was like, so Roberto breathed. It's my turn now, actually. I just hung up. So Kevin, if you want to go, it's just this sass about you. So we get to keep the villain of the season in the Kaleidoscope Prod family. And so, that's cool. So Morgan.
As my prod chat guest is Topher, I am honored. Get this. I feel like all season I was like, am I the problem? Like, is it me? And I feel like I'm really surprised because I got hero of the season in my first org. So to go from hero to this is Roberto breathes. I see it. It was just like so much fun. And yes, me voting Roberto that round, I didn't want Glenda to go, but that was insurance to gain Jay's trust and to gain Glenda's jury management. So we just like, and I literally went to my two closest, Sam and Kevin. I was like, do you think it's okay if I vote Roberto here just to like, just in case? And they're like, yeah. And I was just like, it helps me. But yeah, that's so cool. You wouldn't expect me to be a villain.
I was expecting, okay, like, because a part of me is also like someone owning the villain role. Because like it's like Nicole Franzel. Like Nicole, when she played like BB-22, like she doesn't own the fact. Like Danny owns the fact she's a villain. She's like, oh yeah, I'm being so bad. I'm being so manipulative. Nicole never's like she's not to play up. Oh no, I'm the hero. I'm the good. No, no, you were the villain. You were the problem. And when Morgan started, I think that was like, there you go. That is what I'm talking about.
After Jay's vote, I sent a VLDR of Star Wars of like where he's like in the fire and he's like, if you're not with me, you're my enemy because Jay voted me out.
And proceeded to vote off Kevin at 7. Anyways, we move on to the prod favorites now.
Jacob, can I give a shout out to Allie really quick that I think she could have been villain because
Tyler, Tyler every round was like, is Allie the villain? Is Allie
get her the hell out? Like I was mad at Allie
out?
the whole time in VL, but when she got me out, she sent to the VL her sipping tea, and I was like,
no, hold on. That was me. I
That
recorded it
was
and I
Morgan's
sent it to
idea.
Well,
Kevin
so
and
she
Allie.
sipped the tea as haha, I got you before you could get me. So, all right, Morgan. Well, never mind. Maybe you are the villain. Damn. All right.
I literally, we were on a call and Allie was just sipping her tea. And I was like, wait, Allie, can I record this? And then whenever Tyler gets voted out, can we all VLDR it? So I guess
You
I am
nasty.
the problem.
You're so nasty, Morgan. Never mind. I tried to defend you. Welcome to villainhood, by the way. We have cookies.
Period. We have cookies. You, Zach, and Topher can all enjoy your little cookie dinner together. But now we're gonna go to the host favorites. We're gonna go in alphabetical order of prod member. So first up, Brian, tell us who your favorite is.
Okay, so I had first of all, this cast is really great. All of you could have a case to be all of our favorites. Unfortunately, I had to pick one. I'm going to say two. The first one, there's one pre-merger and one person who made the merge. And the reason I picked the person I picked is mainly due to longevity. Even though Tyler, you're my honorable mention for the pre-merge because I really enjoyed you. Like you were robbed. I really wish you would have made it further, and I love to keep seeing you in these games. But my favorite was somebody I played with before, and I just was rooting for them the whole time. Jay, you were really an underdog, and maybe that also painted why I was rooting for you because I always root for the underdogs when I host and when I'm watching games, and he wasn't a part of the Sinister Six, so I was like, he's got to make his way to dismantle this alliance, and he did a really good job of it. Unfortunately, he got cut at 5, but for those reasons, Jay is my favorite. But thank you all for playing this season. Any one of you, you're all amazing.
Yes, we love that. Thank you, Brian.
Next up is Cam.
Thank you, Brian.
All right. So sorry if I sound weird. I'm feeling a little bit sick, but yeah, I my favorite like took a little bit of thinking, but at the end of the day, I feel like there was really one person that truly stood out to me. Always was funny, always like a light, and always entertaining at every single situation. And even though she did call me a devil in her prod chat, I give it to Glenda. You did so amazing for your first org ever. Like you genuinely really impressed me with how socially adaptable you were and how great you were at talking to people. And I just genuinely want to see you play a lot more orgs because I think that the more you play, you'll eventually get that win. You killed it.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Survivor Satan. I really appreciate it. I really did genuinely enjoy getting to interact with you, and that really means the world because this was my first org, and I wasn't sure whether I was actually doing a good job. But being able to just have the pod on my side, being able to interact with you guys made it so much fun. And I appreciate the fact that you didn't like kick me out as soon as I called you the devil, but I really did have so much fun, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Cam.
Of course, you were always funny. I found it funny when you said that. So you just
All right,
Thank you so much.
We move on to my host favorite, and okay, so here's the thing. I try to be as unbiased as possible because, like, I've known Glenda for like 10 years. I'm like naturally I'm going to be rooting for her, and obviously there was a particular preacher Tyler who kept adding me during every tribal council. Make me your host favorite, Jacob. So there, I mentioned it. I said Tyler. I said Tyler during another tribal council as well, but I had to give it to a juror just for longevity's sake. Because if you know me, I'm a sucker for confessionals. You give me the tea, you spill, you give me all the updates. This is how I'm gonna go about going about this round. That's an easy way for me to fall in love with you as a player. And this particular person would end every call with, I'm probably going home, but and it was just very funny. So Roberto, my boy, you were
Let's
my
go.
favorite to host this season. Maybe there is a little bias there because you hosted the mini when the game premiered that I was playing, and I had to help host with you because just a myriad of different circumstances. But ever since then, I was just very invested in your journey. I had so much fun hosting the confessionals because it wasn't always convenient for me, and I feel really bad because I wasn't able to always do the same thing. And same for Jay as well. Jay added me a lot too to do confessionals, but I just wasn't available for all of them. but you were so on top of everything, and you kept underselling your positioning, which was very good coming into the merge. Like I think that's very understated. Like you thought you were doing terrible until you made the merge. It was like, oh my god, I made the merge. Maybe one of the most wholesome moments of my org hosting tenure was like, oh my god, I made the merge. Play, hooray! I didn't expect that, and I was very happy. I knew that from when I tried to play your first mini, I was like, I need to get this guy on this cast. I heard about your stay and distortion. You made a impression, to say the least, and you kept me entertained from start to finish, man. You were fighting all the way to the bitter end, and what hell you were gonna give them if you had a couple more numbers on your side, man. I was really happy for you. So thank you for playing.
Jacob, can I ask? In Roberta's vote out, who wrote down Josh Berto? That's what I call it. I was
No,
Sam, you and I both know the question. You and I both know. Come on.
Okay, for clarity,
wasn't me.
Sometimes I just like
I
distinguishing
didn't vote
the
you.
names. I'm just like, it's like regular Survivor, you know? You just like, they're not all written the same way. I'm tired of like games where they just have just one way to write Jason's name and one way to write Sam's name.
So wait a minute. So Sam did not write Josh Berto, even though
No.
I didn't vote for you that round. I told her I wouldn't.
I just know that some people called you Josh Berto. I was like, okay, so one of the Roberto names must be Josh Berto. That's literally the only.
No, well, that could have cost me a jury vote. No, I was like,
well, not gonna lie, it like almost did. It almost did.
I was like, he's still gonna think it's me. I was like, nobody else noticed. He's gonna think it's me.
Roberto's jaw drop just there was just like somebody clip it.
I was like, oh,
honestly,
Sam.
put that right next to Ali sipping tea.
You're like, it's me and you. I was like, no, I didn't know. It wasn't me. I was like, he's still gonna think it's me.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
I'm glad that
Roberto's rethinking everything he said in the jury chat.
Well, like, and to be honest, I only like changed partially of my jury vote then, but like it didn't really make a big difference. I'm like, okay.
Well, thanks, Jacob. I'll get you later.
I thought we were even, Sam. You know, you took me out in Disney, I took you out in Room Limit. You know, it's even. So we're even, Steve.
And then you started to sabotage my game from the outside.
Okay, hold on.
I took you out in Disney, but that's a whole other discussion.
Okay, hold on. Like, I just want to say that, like, not gonna lie, like, despite the very bad hit I had the whole pre-merge, I had the most fun pre-merge I've ever had this entire game. Like, every single one of you were such an amazing person. Like, I had the most genuine calls with Ali, Glenda, Eric, Jonathan, the entire trajectory of the game. I really felt like these people really truly like care for me, and like I wanted to at least like try to like ride that out as much as I can. And like obviously, you know, there was a bit paranoia at times, so I'll give Corey his props for that. But still, but still, like I did the best with what I had. But yeah, like I'll definitely take this award and wear it like a badge of honor. So thanks, Jacob. That's awesome.
You're welcome. Tawny, your prod favorite, please.
Hello, I am here. I'm alive. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet, unlike everyone else here. Not to point any fingers to someone. But my favorite person, I pretty much called this very early on in the series. They are just a joy. I've always loved watching them play, and they are a cinnamon roll, and I love my cinnamon rolls. And the person who I'm giving my host favorite to is Jonathan.
Aw.
Did you mean to send this trophy for me, or is this Sam's first place trophy?
It's specifically for you. It's only because you like the Dallas Stars. But if we could get on with the last award before we go on to our fun superlatives, so everyone will be getting something. Maybe not physically, but in our hearts.
Emotionally, verbally. I do want to say that was the first time in all 3 seasons that Tawny turned on her camera. So bravo, round of applause. That was a noteworthy moment. That's like, flip that.
My hair's washed,
it's possible.
so
She was so mad when she didn't win hottest prawn member, but she never turns on her camera. So how can we see? You know what I mean? That's no.
I'm
No.
showing cleavage and everything. Revote right now.
Okay, so whatever the. Anyways, now we go on to the prestigious award that everybody always wonders: who is Potts? Who is the player of the season? But before we do that, we have an honorable mention because there were two big candidates for us on Prod. The first person that was really in contention for it was Jason. Like Jason played this very strong social game play. I think they played the middle just how you need to play the middle. I think that's textbook. You need to know how to be able to maintain that middleman position. You're gonna see Jason on that dictionary. Jason's positioning from early on was very impressive. But then when we came into the merge, Prod, we got on a call just to digest what happened during live night. And we're just looking at like, damn, like what's the game looking like moving forward? And we felt like Jason had incredible odds. We felt that nobody was really targeting Jason at that point. And not only is Eric thinking of, despite this Robert Tico sentiment that was spread around, like Eric wanted Jason very far, like further than some of the members of that alliance, like him to forge that type of relationship there, for him to then be in this alliance with the reality pack and being able to infiltrate that alliance from within. Like, I was worried that Jason flipped to be number 5 or number 6 of this alliance when this other alliance he was decently positioned in well, but he was strongly positioned in both. He was able to make that move at 7 to get Kevin out, and just from then on out, due to that, coupled with his physical prowess, there was no doubt in my mind that Jason was going to make it to the final 2. So, Jason, I think you played a killer game, man, and I know that you didn't get the W, but hopefully that this shows you killed it. You did it.
Next time.
You did phenomenal, man. You can't be understated. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, do I wonder who Potts is. Again, like I said, it was really two people that were in contention. There was obviously a lot of great gameplay all sprinkled throughout, and a lot of people that had potential to go on to win the game for a myriad of reasons, whether it be their positioning, whether it be their win equity, whether it be their physical prowess. But I felt like this person was the most well-rounded in all three aspects. Like that to me is why I look for in a pot. So somebody who was capable or close to winning in a bunch of challenges, strategically was in a solid position and was in good with multiple people, and socially had a grace about them to where multiple people felt good with them, they felt secure, they felt locked in, and going into the jury, they were going to be rooting for that person. And so just like Topher before us, who got villain in Potts, it stays in the Kaleidoscope Prod family. Morgan, you were the player of the season. I've already spoken and preached on your game earlier on during the villain portion.
You can keep going. You can keep going.
Nah, I was told to keep it short and sweet. Therefore, I will.
No, I really appreciate it. I am really proud of my game. This is the most confident I felt about a game. Had some wrong moves, but overall, I'm really, really thankful to play with this cast. I feel like I actually enjoyed talking to everybody, which is very fucking rare. Um, so kudos to Prod for making a cast that was like actually enjoyable. So that's it. Thank you so much. And frick Jason and Sam.
I mean, they had to do it. I can't blame either of them for it. I mean, there was worlds where unanimous votes were in talk, like just the way that the jury was built up, and like they were, yeah. So we move on to closing off the formal award ceremony, and now we just have superlatives, just a little fun, just cute awards. Maybe we're throwing some shade at some certain specific moment. We'll see. Okay, so the winner of the unluckiest Charmed fan award goes to Joe, coming into the season applying, saying, I loved Charmed. They were a huge fan of the show, but unfortunately for them, which wasn't always the case, there was still a couple people fighting for him to stay during that first round. Unfortunately, Joe got the short end of the stick. With the Best Mother award, it goes to Alejandra who during tribal council, the reason why, like you'll see when I post all the tribals in the coming days, she just randomly left and stopped answering questions because she had to take care of her child. She had to get to talk to her husband about a matter and just best mother. I
And then
thought it
you
was
voted
funny because
her
at the
out.
time I just thought she disconnected or she was muted the whole time and didn't think to unmute. Whatever. So the most likely to play 2 charm themed games at once award goes to Anthony, who played Be Kind Rewind on Facebook that premiered the same day that ours premiered. That complete coincidence. Me and Megan Farrell did not prepare that. I just thought it was funny when that game was revealed and he was revealed to be on that cast. Yeah. I'm such a douche. The second best Ram Brother award, aka the first Topher is Better award, goes to Corey, which unfortunately a lot of my assessments of Topher preseason carried on over to Corey, maybe being more like more actively and overtly being a villain, but unfortunately, it's get it done. It was very shocking to see. I was hoping that Corey would make it further. Obviously, he was in contention to be a Rob Preacher, but you'll always be a Ram. And for me, that is a award in and of itself. I can't say I'm a Ram, you know. Next one. The most likely to advertise their game at Tribal Award goes to Austin because every time he would go on a Zoom, it would come as Battle of the Orc Prod. It would never be Austin. And there's maybe twice, I think, during the entire season where I was like, who the hell is this? Who the hell did we send the Zoom link to? Oh, Austin. Yeah, Austin, Battle of the Orc Prod. Yeah. So nice on that. Um, the most persistent to be someone's host favorite award goes to Tyler, who added me for all throughout merge saying, Jacob, call me your favorite, please. And I had to I finally remembered during tribal council to do it. So I'm like, fine, Tyler, I'll say it once, just I said it, then enjoy it, live with it. Getting the You Look Like a Superlative award goes to Keaton because, he looks like a superlative. It's an inside joke. If you get it, you get it. But like he always says, like you look like a whatever. So yeah. The most likely to feel she's on the bottom award goes to Gianna because that was like a recurring thing that Gianna just kept saying. I just feel like I'm on the bottom, man. It was almost like she would not to throw shade her way, but she said that a lot. So I want to acknowledge that. The best Prod Chat guest award goes to Eric. And kind of I also give like this little award, this mini trophy to Mike Jones, who everything that Eric says, like, you're killing it, dude. You got this, dude. You're killing it, Eric. Best Prod Chat indeed goes to Eric and Mike Jones. Most likely to worship 3 out of 4 Prod members award goes to Glenda. Because at first Cam was Survivor Satan until that tea welcome to my candle shop challenge where I became Survivor Satan and I have been condemned to clearly I'm dying as I deserve to
Burn
be
in
for my
hell.
sins.
Burn in hell.
Yeah, word. I am dying because of my sins. I am being condemned. Most confessional requests award goes to Roberto, who would at me almost every day, maybe twice a day, maybe thrice a day on some days. Jacob, confessional, please. I don't know how many times I've had to go to my girlfriend's bathroom because that's the only place I would have privacy to do these confessionals. I was very dedicated to getting the tea from Roberto. The most overdue individual immunity win goes to Kevin because this is the first game where he got an individual immunity win. It took a while. I didn't think this was his first. I thought like maybe there was like a challenge in a Survivor org that he played where like 10 people won immunity and he was on like the winning team. No, apparently this is his first individual immunity win. Congrats, Kevin. Be proud of yourself.
That's not what I thought. I was fully expecting like most likely to freeze on Skype, so I will happily take that.
I scratch off the most overdue immunity win title and put that instead, but that's it's been set in stone. The most likely to count the O's and hellos award goes to Jonathan. Because every time that Tyler sent a hello to Jonathan, he said, I'm gonna just count all the O's. Just for every time. So what Jonathan, what was the final count, if you remember, if you have access to that right now?
Somewhere around 38 O's and 6 hellos. And by the end of it, I cut it short. I cut it short by voting him. I wanted to keep that going all season.
That's listen, I was doing the Mrs. Doubtfire. The hello.
The hardest to hear when he's answering questions at Tribal Award goes to Jay. And when you see the postseason doc, you'll see the award in like size 4 font because it will be as hard to read as Jay is hard to hear sometimes. Answers questions at Tribal.
My mic is still fucked.
It could have been a lot worse. I'm such a douche. The second best Kaleidoscope Prod Villain Award, aka the other Topher is Better Award, goes to Morgan because I love throwing shade at people. There you go. You got all like the nice awards. I had to.
Hey, I don't get it. What'd you say?
The second best Kaleidoscope Prod Villain, aka the other Topher is Better Award.
That's so mean.
I agree. But not as mean as this next one. The Chess Grandmaster My Ass Award goes to Allie because she has no idea how to play knight moves. It was
Kevin
so
doesn't
shocking.
either. Kevin doesn't. They both are 2 peas in a pod on that one.
That was.
Yeah, honestly, if night moves would have been the challenge at 6, like you guys would have been fine.
The challenge was at 4. And she was the only one I had to tell specifically what moves were legal, like what moves she could make.
It was
so
it was
literally
when,
me and Hypnotic.
Oh my goodness!
No,
it was when she came in. She's like, I don't know how to play this, and then she kept saying random things. Jason, like, hey, we're fine.
The next award for our final 2. The best alt for Stoner award goes to Jason because Stoner applied and dropped. And then Jason got, which Jason would have been on the cast regardless. I just like throwing shade his way. I just thought it was very funny that Stoner dropped in the same game that Jason ended up applying later for. I was just like, this is the odds. I don't know if they talked about it. They communicated that to each other.
We didn't want to play together.
It would have been fun. We would have separated you guys. The tribes, at least initially, were made.
They would have figured it out.
They would have figured it out. It would have been so fun though. It would have been very fun. It would have been fun for me. It wouldn't have been fun.
Wouldn't have been fun for me.
It would have been fun for me. It would have been a blast for me. And then the final award, the biggest fan of Stick of Rock, goes to Sam.
Bye.
For those of you who don't know, so for the Family Feud challenge, the question was just name a souvenir that you would buy at a shop. So he said Stick of Rock, just like this. Like impulsively, because that's just an answer that would be very popular in the UK. And then he said, well, if not that, then it would be a keychain or whatever. But I took the first answer they took anyways and converted it to candy. Because I'm like, oh, Stick of Rock is a candy. So like if that will get the points, then I would give him it. But then we decided to give it to him anyways, just because like, yeah, I mean he did say that candy, keychain, whatnot. So biggest fan of Stick of Rock, and maybe or maybe not, there may be a Stick of Rock advantage next season. You know, that will be
per your one request. Of the best moments of the whole season was teasing Sam about Stick of Rocks. It was great.
There may be an advantage, but no one's gonna find it.
Oh god, dude. There was Eric and Sam, I think, were the 2 that were closest to finding an idol at any point. Roberto was close at a point too, but Roberto just stopped rolling, and I'm like, you're like 3 spaces away from it. It was very tragic. A lot of people found extra die. Like that's it. It was like, what's the point of you finding the extra die if you're not finding anything with them? But whatever. That concludes the finale of Spellbound Survivor Charmed. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in and being such a wonderful viewing audience. Thank you all so much for the cast for making the game that it is. Again, congrats, Sam, William, on a vote of 6-3 on winning Spellbound Survivor Charmed. We do have a 4th season somewhat in the works, and we do have a second mini as well. So mind you, there's a couple people on here who played the mini who would go on to play this season. Thank you to those individuals as well. We will see you guys in the spring. Best of luck to everybody. And again, I hope everybody had a phenomenal night. Wanted to spread some of the love tonight, and I will officially end the stream. And remember,